All right, everybody. Everybody's ready. We're going to start in about 15 minutes here with Nick Chahine, lead trader from the Benzinga Options Inner Circle chat room. Big shout out all you folks that are out on the YouTube side and also on the Zoom side. Again, 15 minutes. We're going to get started. Make sure you're ready, paying attention, pen and paper. We have a lot to cover. We have a packed session. So make sure you're paying attention throughout the time. Daniel, what's going on, brother? Daniel Chash. Yep, the chat is activated on Zoom as well. If you have questions, use the Zoom chat. Make sure your settings are set there for everyone so everybody can see your questions and such. All right, folks, just wanted to come in and say hi before we start. Make sure you're ready, 15 minutes, and we'll get this thing going. All right, everybody, welcome to the session here today. Okay, we have something very special planned for all you folks today with Nick Chahine, lead trader at the Benzinga Options Inner Circle chat room. And for those that don't know him, he's been doing this for quite some time with Benzinga for about 10 years. My name's Rodrigo, and we'll be going over a lot of trade ideas, education for options, setups, and market discussions here with Nick Chahine. And everybody that's here in the chat, Daniel, Barb, Bart, we got Ben in the house, Lynn, Lucy, Mike, Tom. Looks like a packed house today. So everybody, we'll be doing our best here to go through the sessions, but at the end, we're gonna have questions and tickers from the chat. So let's go ahead and bring this started. I think that Nick is in the back. Let's go ahead and bring him on.
I am right here.
Mr. Nick, what's going on, man?
Just wrapping up some things with the Sunday session, uploading some videos so I can publish them in a little bit for the members. And these are exclusive videos of what I think should happen in the next couple of weeks with specific stocks that they have asked about.
Right. So every Sunday you do have like a session with the members for about from 10, I believe it's 10:30 till 1 p.m. or something. And you just got off of that. That's what you mean?
Yeah, it's from 10 until whenever. Like last week, it took a long time because I had 176 stickers to review. Yes, 176 stickers that we reviewed. And in a little bit, I'll share my screen and show you what I share a list of those stickers with links that they can refer to later. And I break them up into 3 different videos so they can review them. So it's a lot of work for me, but it's part of the service. So for example, if somebody's busy with their work or they don't have the expertise or they just want to learn how to deal with charts, they can just ask me and I will do. And I will do the homework. I will set the alerts for myself, and then you guys would just act off of the homework if you want to, or come back to me and say, hey, you said it will get to here, and if it gets to here, you get long. How would you do it? If you're looking for the room, it's going to be different tomorrow, so that's why you can't find it. I'll show you pictures of it. So tell me when I can steal the screen from you so I can show them what I'm speaking about.
Yeah, let's go ahead and rip it. And for everybody here that's new to the session, keep in mind this is all Nick Chahine. This is like a live trading room that Nick Chahine has. So there's a lot of people that already know Nick and everything. We have some people that maybe are coming here for the first time. So Nick is basically going to show you guys the feeling of how it is in the live room, basically.
Yep. So what you're looking at is you can see a chart that part of the service, not the service. The last part, extra part of the service is me being in a room like this one, sharing a chart like this one and more, speaking into this mic and chatting with you like we're chatting right here all day, every day, from before the market opens until after the market closes. And I basically try to find fast trading opportunities, or when we have a lull, address slightly longer swing trade opportunities and try to sell daily iron condors to generate income every day. And I'll share with you what happened on Friday. And I was literally clapping and screaming at the end of the day because we made like a hole-in-one type of a deal. And we did it at least 2 times this week. A trade called Iron Butterfly. And it worked for everybody that did it. And I just got somebody that reached out to me in the chat room, which I'll show you in a second, that they made a mistake. They said, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, but I wanted to share with you because even the mistake I made me $150. So he learned from his mistake while having a profit to boot. So anyway, so if you want company, we had an average of 300 to 320 people every day, all day in the live room. This is called the live room. That's the last thing I added to the service with Benzinga. And it's like the most popular thing. The lessons that are in there nonstop all day. anything that applies on a 1 minute chart applies on a 1 month chart. The concepts are the same. You just get to learn them fast paced, and every day, 3-4 times a day, the same message, it gets ingrained. So the people in there are not all newbies, but there are newbies in there that they feel overwhelmed, but I keep reminding them, don't worry about it, it'll come. And the people that are super strong are in there to be with comrades in order to find trades. So I have people in the room that are better traders than me. I do a good job finding the lines and the reactions. So the organization is good. And what it looks kind of like this, the live room. Everybody's here, we're chatting. They're all here on the side. You can't see them right there. And these are the comments. So I picked up, okay, so that was Friday. There's somebody saying, this was my first iron butterfly, Goose. Mike is saying, I did 4 iron condors this week. Thank you, which means iron condors deliver 20 to 25% profit in one day. The way we do them, you can do them in 1 week. This is a person, Mike, he did 4 this week. So he had 4 trades that yielded 25%. And those are trades that no money leaves my account. Somebody else buys something from me and they're slated to lose. So that's how we win. 2 Fridays ago, it was a little difficult, but this past week, it was really good. So this is a person that chimes in. Jacob says, Phil, that means he booked his profit. Just booked gains on Iron Butterfly, Chad, $2.50. So that's $250 per 1 contract. Manoj booked some profits. He booked half, and the other half expired for maximum gains, I think. So that's one set of messages. Similar message here. Take the money and run. So people helping each other out. Goose, my first, already we saw that. And then so I said, okay, let me go back in time and see if I can prove it that this is not a one-time thing. It wasn't. This is Caleb. Caleb is still in the room. Back then, when was this? A couple of weeks ago. He says, 3rd day in the room, and I'm convinced to switch from a monthly sub to an annual sub. So there's no better testament that we're doing something right. I guarantee you the effort is in there, 1000%. I'm in there all day, every day. You know, I'm plastered to this chair in order to empower people to be in here so we can trade better as a group. We will be better as a group. So this is Caleb's input, and I have tons of these. Okay, this is this guy grew up minutes away from me in Lebanon. I'm from Lebanon, and I didn't know him back then, but he was again thanking me for all the hard work. And Friday, he came to me with input. He shared with me some charts that he saw from somebody else that does Elliott wave, and he asked me, "Are you open to seeing some of that?" I was like, "Of course, I'm open to seeing some of that. Let's see it." So the room, really, the live room is the bonus, and we haven't even started talking about the meat and potatoes, which is everything else that goes on.
And Stanley here has a good question here from the chat. And by the way, folks, you can change the settings on the chat so that everybody sees the questions. But Stanley has a good question. Do you teach people how to place an iron condor and regular options?
Yep, absolutely. So the teaching never stops. So on Thursday, we were covering this is the SPX, which is what I usually do, the iron condor, because the SPX folks, they just started recently. I think April was the first month. They have daily expirations. Like every day, the contract opens and expires, dies. And the SPX is a good vehicle to make money every day with that. So I have a couple of people that are making thousands every day. So granted, they have a slightly bigger account. So they can theoretically quit their job. I don't recommend anybody quit their job until you can do it for over a year, because you can get lucky for a couple of months and then 1 month you get blown out. No. So, but this is a person, at least a few people that I'm thinking about that are getting it. So anyway, I do explain it. In fact, there was one scenario where somebody asked me, can you explain the iron butterfly? Which, by the way, I would learn it the last, because that's the hole-in-one idea. It has very low odds of success, but very little risk. And if you nail the close, and I nailed the close on Friday, 42.30, I think I was 16 cents off, or anyway. So a couple of times this week, I nailed it. But if you nail it, you make a lot of money without risking a lot. So the idea is to risk $50 to make $450 per contract. So that's the iron butterfly. But the point is about learning. I explained it. I said, well, let me explain it. And I drew a box, and I drew another box, and I drew another box. And then I spoke to it. And at the end, I was like, dang, I should have recorded this, because I don't think I've ever explained it better than that. So somebody goes, don't worry about it. I recorded it. And then the next day, that night, I get an email. They had loaded it for me in video format. So yes, we explain everything that there is to be explained. The live room. So the live room is where the action is, but that's the extra gravy on the whole shebang. And the whole shebang is me helping people learn how to trade options in a way that doesn't put us slaves to buying things. Right. So the goal is for somebody is to be able to sell spreads in order to create income. So this way I'm taking positions that don't require me to pay anything. In fact, when I open a position, money goes into my account. Somebody else is buying hope from me. Somebody's saying they can't see the SPX. If you have Robinhood, they don't show the SPX. So you can trade the SPX via the SPY, but 3 times a week. Because
and we have well, Jason here has an interesting speaking of the education side, saying, I'm so confused on the options trading. I bought a put and lost money. I bought a call and lost money. I would like to send a screenshot of my contract so that you can see what I have. So basically, this is like kind of mentoring. This falls right into your alley, right, Nick? People that need help with education as well.
Absolutely. So I've never taken a class. I've learned all of this stuff on my own. Luckily, I've been investing since I was a teenager, stocks, and then morphed into options. I got into options because I was running 2 companies at the time. I had left the corporate world behind, a successful career in that. And I started out as an engineer, electrical engineering, and then I went into finance and FP&A. So, and then a friend of mine says, hey, what are you doing for lunch? I got to go to the bank. You want to come? I was like, I don't have time to go to the bank, but what are you going to go do? He goes, I have a margin call. I was like, what did you do? He needed to bring 25,000. I said, what did you do? He goes, I was trading options. And he didn't know how to explain what he was doing. Like, he clearly was using too much risk in something he doesn't understand. In fact, that guy just came back and took a class from me, I would say 8 months ago. And I'm thinking to myself, good grief. You got me started interested in options way back then because of your loss. And I was interested to seeing how you got into trouble, and you still haven't learned it. So I taught him the basics a decade later, maybe. So what I'm saying is you need to get educated on the options. And the simplest message I can tell you, the very simplest message, although it's not gambling, take the casino side. So the casino doesn't exist if the gamblers win, right? The stock market would not exist if investors win. I can say it with confidence. They let enough people win to keep you coming back to play with options. So if you get into options and get into positions with the mentality that the market is going out to screw everybody, and you take a position knowing that, and you set it in a way where it can't do that to you, you're going to win more than lose. And I can show you how to do that. There are ways to play this. And if you cannot sell credit spreads, you're welcome. There are ways to mimic credit spreads, and I call them, what do I call them? Hold on, locusts. Like if somebody says an iron condor, this would be an iron locust. If you want to get the reference, go watch the movie Mimic. It's old, but it's about a bug that mimics humans. So this is a debit spread in the SPX that mimics a credit spread. Some people's accounts are not allowed to sell a spread, but you can buy a spread that acts like the other one. So not every ticker can work with that. I would only do it in a cash settled ticker, but I share it and I show it and I explain it and I share both ways of doing it. In fact, one of the people I mentioned that could turn pro does that. He sometimes sells a credit spread. Other times he does a debit spread to do the same thing. I don't know when he decides which one is which, but he comes back to me and tells me how well he did. So Education, yes, of course. So let me back into what we do. I started with Benzinga in 2011. I don't work for Benzinga. I work with Benzinga since then because they do a great job with their customers. They're a great marketing team, great support for you guys and me. I don't have to worry about them cheating anyone. They're clearly excellent reputation. So, what I promised the people who sign up through Benzinga to my service is trade setups that suit my style, and I like credit spreads. So I usually share a video. I have done fewer videos because I've noticed that not everybody's interested in the videos, and it was a lot of work, and I'm more productive not doing the videos, but they're there if somebody wants them. So the idea is for me to say, okay, this chart, whatever chart we're looking at, like today somebody's looking at Moderna. So I would say, okay, here are the facts on Moderna fundamentally, and here is what I think of that P&L, and then where it is. And then I would say, given these, I would maybe get long, but not by buying shares or calls, by buying this or that. So, and then I share a trade about one a day. So that's aside from the live room where I share like 1 hour maybe. But so the write-up, and then I said, okay, so somebody needs to reach out to me about questions. So we opened the chat room, different than the live room. So now the chat room is available to you, and it would look like this. And I just had this is the person that reached out to me this morning. These are direct messages. And this is how people help each other out. I was trying out a new live conference room, and they were helping each other out. Somebody's in Dubai, and apparently they can't log in from Dubai for that room. So I'll have to take that into consideration. Here's my write-up from Friday. Denny was sharing his conversation. So every morning you will come to me here. That would be, if I was a member of Nick, I would come in here every morning, because Nick's important messages, nobody else can post here. These are my messages before the market opens. Here are all the live hookups to the charts of the S&P, the QQQ, the IWM, that's the small caps, the futures contracts. I have a lot of futures traders in there. And afternoon notes with trade setups. So on that day, I said, I'm shorting Apple Thursday. Folks, here's what happened Thursday. I said, I shorted Apple. Somebody did that. They made money on Friday. The market dropped. I said that Verizon is falling. I'm going to get longs Verizon by buying shares. And I explained why. If you did that, you made money on Friday. It was a green ticker on a red market, right? And it pays almost 6% yield. SoFi, I said, I shared a winning trade in SoFi weeks ago. It popped. I said, I'm out. It dropped. I said, I'm back in. I'm just repeating what I did before. Same thing. You can buy. I said, I can buy shares, or I can buy a call out in time. I said, whatever I do, half size. Why? Because we have so many question marks. I want to penalize my conviction level. So those are 3 trades from Thursday, 2 of which won Friday. I could have closed Apple for 30% of maximum gains. I could have closed Verizon if I wanted to, but I didn't. I want the dividends. So that's what happened on Thursday. So on other days, if there was an other dips, I would share a trade on something else. So I address it one thing at a time, one day at a time, one tick at a time. I provide on Sunday on Sunday I provide like an overview video of about 9 minutes.
Yeah, the Sunday session's pretty good. And basically you guys give Nick about 150 tickers or something like that. And he
176.
Yeah, full review on each one with comments, charts, and you can attend the session as well, right, Nick?
Yep. So this is today's list, which is 130-ish. But last week it was 176 stickers. So what I do is on Saturday night, I spend about 4 hours. Just picture yourself typing up this list, just typing it. It takes hours. So here it is linked up with charts that you can refer to at any point in time, with comments, and a video, 3 videos. So start of video 2, start of video 3. I broke them up so that's easy to scroll through. They are alphabetical, except in this one. I think CRM came in late and Coin came in late, so they're out of sequence. but I still entertained it. So in the live room, we've averaged over 300 to 320 every day, all day. The room gets busy. And I'm pretty sure at some point we're going to hit like the limit of how many people can we invite. So what would happen is we would have to stop accepting new members until so we're kind of close to being full. So if you're interested, I would, there is a pressing matter there from that perspective, because as great as the people are in there, there's only one Nick, and he can only drink so much Bang, which is an energy drink. It's a lot of fun. We had one troll, which I think he came back on Friday, but he was orderly. So he was upset one day. Maybe he lost some money. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But he came back in line, I believe, Friday. We may have identified him in there. But it's just one person, and he's not going to disrupt the flow. Everybody else is super nice, to the point to where they share their own trades. I have 2 or 3 people that are super, super good at swing trading. So you'd see he comes in and he says, I'm going long this put out to September because I think it's going to fall to there. People choose to follow him. When do you follow him? When you see that he keeps doing well, you say, okay, this guy knows what he's doing, so let me jump in. So it's not all about me, but I do help organize the gang. The camaraderie is insane. I can't even say it enough. I'll give you an example. So usually I use Jitsi to share the platform and spend a week together. We've recently had a couple of glitches, so I was like, let me try a new service. So I said, I'll try it with Sunday. So Sunday, I did not use this one. I used a new service, which is better than this one. So one person couldn't follow because he's in Dubai. So one person from the new room decided to stream their own chart in here with audio. So if somebody was in the old room, they still saw the video going on in the new room, because the one person, out of his own goodness, I think it was Brad, he came in and he said, he didn't even tell me he was doing it, but I saw it. He was sharing his screen with audio so people could see me and hear me into the old room. That's above and beyond, in my opinion. So the gang is great. I'm so blessed to be able to have this. And Benzinga provides excellent support. So the chat room is a way, I'm basically available to you 24/7 and literally twice on Sunday, literally, because I do the Sunday morning and then Sunday night, I send out the video, and all day, every day during the week. So I share my charts. I share about 7 or 8 windows. I share algo flow data, artificial intelligence data from several other sources. I happen to share my screen via TradingView because I have thousands of people who are on TradingView. You're not required to have TradingView, but it's easy for me to show and share. We're usually watching 1 minute or 15 second charts, believe it or not. Yes, 15 second. When we're actively trading fast and somebody's on a hot trade and they need help, like Tesla. Tesla is a crazy ticker and it costs thousands to day trade it. And if I have a lot of people trading it, I keep good tabs on it and help people avoid big mistakes. Where are my notes? Interesting. So for example, if this was an open day trade right now, I would say get ready to chase it above 893. You might be able to get 904 with it. Higher lows, neckline coming up. For that purpose, I'll switch to 15 seconds. Why? Because I get to see 4 times as much data as my opponent, who only watches the 1 minute chart. So I don't require a 15-second chart to trade a swing trade opportunity for a couple of weeks. But if I'm day trading, and there's no better, I mean, we can go to 5 seconds, but just becomes too noisy. 15 seconds is my active trading follow. And you don't even need it. I have it. Not everybody has it. Like here, you can totally tell. There's a buyer right here, and there's a seller right there. They're going to ping pong inside that range. And then if you breach the upper end, they'll overshoot higher, get you to here. This is where you look left and you say, what is here? Does it matter? Yes. Look, a little cluster right there. So clearly it's a busy day and it's a lot of fun and it's a lot of learning. Oh, there are my lines. Okay, I remember now. the conversation. Okay, so Tesla is a hot topic in the room, and I have half a dozen people that love to trade it and half a dozen people that said, never will I ever trade it again, because it is not for everybody short term. I rarely lose with Tesla. I shouldn't say I don't lose. I don't remember the last time I lost, because the way I trade it is always on the long side and always when everybody hates it. When it dips significantly, even on a giant dip in one day for reasons that are silly, I sell a put spread or sell a put to generate income and not even look twice about it. Look back twice about it. So the tickers that we're trading come from you. The tickers that I'm covering on Sundays come from you. You want to reach me? I'm yours all day, every day. You can't get to the live room. You won't miss anything. The only thing you would miss in the live room inside these things is the fact that trades that you can't take, because if you cannot be here, you cannot day trade. So you're missing out on day trades. That's it. This is extra for people who can trade fast. If you don't have enough money to be above the pattern day trading and you only have about $3,000, it's still my method. You can still trade like me. There are ways around this. The futures contracts, the options contracts on the futures, I believe, are exempt. You might want to look into that. Plus, you can take a credit spread that doesn't require closing the same day. If you sell an iron condor for the day, like let's say if I take so I have a remote small account that I left on purpose that I keep in order to mimic a small, it has even less than $3,000 in it, and I do iron condors in it. So if I do an iron condor and I collect $1, okay, so that counts as 2 trades, and then I don't do anything to close it because it expires from maximum gains, then I didn't break any rules. So if I close one of the sides, then I'm closer to breaking rules. So find out what the limitations are on your end. I can tell you it's doable, but don't expect to make 1,000 a week when you only have 3,000 in the account. Nothing against you, but you need to be patient. I have a couple of friends that are in my friends in my group. One of whom has slightly more than you, but not by much. Somebody who's asking. So first of all, thanks for sharing your information. And she is able to eke out, let's say you make $100 a day, which is what an iron condor would do. An iron condor in the SPX can bring in $100 a day with 85% theoretical certainty. So unless something crazy happens, and I would not do it on Friday because the craziness always comes out on Friday, on the upside. I haven't seen it on the downside, but they go ballistic on the upside on Fridays. 2 Fridays ago, they cost me grief. I lost some money and I had to recover it over Monday, Tuesday, which I have recovered, but it's a pain in the, you know what, right? But in SPX, I collect $100 and I'm risking 4, but that's a 25% yield. So it's like me saying, okay, I just spent $400 buying shares and I need a 25% rally today to book the profits that this thing books. And this thing needs nothing. You just need time to tick and nothing crazy to happen and you win. So yeah. So if I make $50, $100 a day with a $3,000 account, or let's say I do it 3 times a week, that's $300 a week from a $3,000 account. It's doable. I mean, what else can provide that with certainty? So if I had a method, this would be my method of choice. Or I do homework and swing trade opportunities that are slow and steady, but that ties up my money for the long term. These are every day. So I wouldn't choose Robinhood. I don't have anything against the platform, just for the sheer fact that they don't have SPX. The SPY expires 3 times a week, but there's also assignment issues. The SPY is the ETF that okay, let's back up. The S&P is the index that's represented by the SPX. The SPX is the index. It is cash settled. You can't buy SPX. It's the index. But you can buy options and sell options on the SPX. The SPY is an ETF that tracks the index, 10 times smaller. And you can buy the SPY as a stock. It even pays a dividend. So I don't like to trade it because if I sell a spread and it goes in the money, price goes through my spread, I become liable to being exercised on one way or another. And in a small account, that could be a problem. Where in the SPX, whatever trade I take, the maximum loss is set from the beginning. The platform loves that because I can't get in trouble. There's no assignment. It can close into money. There's no assignment. Although TD Ameritrade sends out a message, you've been assigned, which is really weird. It scares people. There's no assignment, and then it just disappears. I don't know why they choose to do it that way. But there's no assignment with the SPX, with the RUT, NDX, I want to say XSP, and a couple other cash settled indices.
Hey, Nick, really quick here. I'm getting a lot of emails here from the folks. We have about 1,000 people watching here. So I just pretty much grouped up the most common questions here that we have. And then from there, we'll basically, get back here into the session.
Take it.
All right. So thanks for the questions, by the way, folks. All right. So Phil, a good question. Are the sessions on Sundays recorded? Yes, my friend, they're recorded and posted in the chat room. Nick does that every Sunday. He was doing it today. It's pretty much there every Sunday, right? Let's see. Next question here. We have Mary. What is the chat room schedule? So the chat room schedule is Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. And then you also have
the chat room is open all day, every day, 24/7. The live room is open during market open.
Right. So there's a live trading room that's open 9 to 5. And then the other chat room, the static blue chat room, is open 24/7. Right. So as far as like when Nick is there, that's going to be Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 when he's live there with you. So good question there. Next one we have here from Joanne. Is there a money back guarantee? Yes, we do have a 30-day money back guarantee on this just till midnight. And next question, what is the price at renewal? It's the same as today. It's 70% off. And like Nick was saying, we are getting very close to capping the new members here as far as like, accepting new members here just because of the size. We want to make sure that Nick, is comfortable. So, try to make sure that you get in while you can, basically, is what we're saying. Next, we have, why is Google forcing me to change name on YouTube? Good question. Is there a free trial to check out the room? Yes, my friend, that's the 30-day money back guarantee. So, and quick shout out here. We got TWM94. Welcome to the chat room. Welcome to the Inner Circle room. Let's go. Cool stuff. Just make sure that you check your email because we're going to be giving out free laptops for anybody that joins. A free laptop on the house. Just make sure you open your email. We're going to send you something where you fill out a form and you put the address. We'll send it to you, and then you'll be good to go. That's on the house. So that covers everything there, Nick. Free laptops, free donuts. Sergi, we can send you some donuts.
You shouldn't eat donuts. Donuts are not good for you. They're good, but they're not good for you. Okay, so I see somebody's trying to solicit business. Is it mine again, or are you still talking, Rodrigo?
No, it's all you, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing. My hardest lesson to teach, and I will keep trying, is to not listen to the news. The news does not matter, and headlines don't matter. What do you mean? There's a headline. Look at the tick that happened after the headline. Yes, I get that. But it doesn't create a new path for price. What it does, it expedites whatever path was going and maybe exaggerated a little bit. Perfect example. Any reaction on the Fed minutes. The Fed event, it is not an event. The Fed minutes are old news. They are literally old news. They tell us what happened behind closed doors 3 weeks ago when they told us what they decided. They had 25 speeches thereafter. They answered all of our questions live about it. What on earth do you think you're going to learn more from the Fed minutes that you didn't learn from them delivering all the message of the whole thing? Nothing. You're not going to learn anything new that's going to set new price path. We're not going to find out that they changed their mind about raising rates in the minutes. That's not going to happen. Maybe we'll find out that they put mustard on their sandwiches, but that's it. So any move off of the Fed minute is just emotional, reactive. So I have, I used to say I don't listen to news. I used to say that news doesn't matter, but I didn't really live it until I did what? I watch zero news. Yes, I cover the market for thousands of people and I watch no news. First of all of you come to me with news. Like, for example, on Friday, Buffett is buying 50% of Oxy. That wasn't the headline, but people reacted. The stock is up 10%. I would fade that news. The news turned out to be that the SEC allows it now to own up to 50%. So when I was saying that that I shouldn't short Oxy because Buffett is buying it, I said Buffett is buying it not to make money off the stock price. He wants to own the company because he wants the cash flow, and I still think he's making a mistake. All due respect. Of course, he may know stuff I don't. But all I know is for Oxy, for example, let me see here. Oxy. All I know, if you give me a chart and you say, this is a chart, how do you trade it? Do you buy it here? Hell no. Oh, of course not. This is 4 months battle. This is 6 months battle. This is 4 month battle. This is 2 month battle. So we're going back to 2011. By the way, there was a commodity crash in 2011. Gold and oil collapsed. Their 2014 correction, was that the flash crash at the time? I don't know. And then, of course, 2018. This is the Fed. The first time they tried to raise rates, and now they get back here. Now you want to buy it? If I buy it here, I may be selling. I may be bailing all these people that have been stuck for 4 years. I may be saying, hey, you guys have been stuck for 4 years. Why don't I try my shot? Let me get stuck for 4 years.
Right.
But anyway.
And we have a good question here from Siva. Do I have to be in front of the computer during the market open during all trading days? And I guess this kind of goes to all of the people that maybe have a full-time job or a part-time job, right?
No. Here's the answer to that. If you don't want to day trade, you do not need to be in the live room. The live room is extra for those who can day trade or those who can spend time and learn. There's a schmut ton of learning that gets done in there, but it's not the meat that I deliver. My delivery is for people who cannot be in there and they want to get a couple of emails a day and see if they can take some of the trades. Like the trade on Friday, I sent on Thursday night in the middle of the afternoon, I sent out a note saying I did 3 things today. I shorted Apple and here is how. I went long Verizon and here's how. I went long SoFi and here's how and why, and the size of which I took. So if you're just getting an email, you look at the email. If you like any of these trades, you go take the trade. Or if you have a follow-up question, you pop into the chat room, which is there for you all the time. You come in here and you ask me personally or in open session, like everybody else here. They don't mind sharing information. And then I answer. Like if you say, okay, I get it, but how sure are you of this? And it's like, I'm not sure. That's why I said 50% of the size. So to answer your question, you do not need to be in the live room. But if you would love to be in the, if you would like to be in the live room, even for 5 minutes, I would love to have you there. So that is, right. I think hopefully that answers your question. And then somebody else is confused about something.
Really quick here, Mark, because Mark's been waiting for this question. Basically this will expire at midnight. So the laptops, everything, the whole deal. So you have to get in before midnight Eastern.
Okay, so somebody's very confused. Sal, I don't know what you're confused about. You cannot ask to be assigned. That's the control you give up. When I sell anything in options, I give up control. The buyer who buys, the definition of the options always starts with, if I buy options, I own the right to do something. Therefore, I'm in control, the buyer. I own the right to do something. The seller of that option immediately gives up the right because they have the obligation to do something. So when you have an obligation to do something, you can't control it. You gave up control by taking the obligation and collecting money. For example, I buy insurance from Allstate. Allstate sells me the premium. I give them money. They owe me the obligation of doing covering my car if I file a claim. Same. Somebody buys a put. Somebody sells them the put. The buyer of the put owns the right to sell the shares at that price. Therefore, the seller of the put is obligated to do that. They don't take care of the assignment. They limit the maximum loss. So if I sell a put spread, I may still get assigned. I'll give you an example. I sold a losing put spread in Snap, and then Snap CEO chose to come out and screw everybody in between two earnings reports and say, oh, we suck. And the stock fell from whatever, 24 down to 12. Well, I was long in the middle, and I was short a put at 22.5, long a put at 22. So I would have been assigned at 22.5, but I would have stopped being losing money at 20. So I limited my loss, but I cannot stop them from assigning me. If they want to assign me, they can assign me. I can't force them to assign me. I'll give you another example. On X, the letter X, that's US Steel, during the pandemic, I sold a $9 put, which is where my cursor is right now. It fell to under 5. They didn't assign me. I made money on the trade. They chose not to take advantage of the insurance policy they bought from me, and they didn't assign me. I made thousands on the trade because they didn't assign me. So you cannot control the assignment part. You can limit your losses by doing spreads, by saying, I'm not on the hook from there to 0. Okay, good. Now you know, then we beat that one to death. All right, there, the learning just happened. We just dropped some learning on you. Serge, for you to, what is your goal? What is your goal? So Serge is making a comment that the Serge IRA doesn't allow for more. You want to gamble with your IRA? Good luck to you. Okay, then why are you so concerned? I can still help you gamble if you want, but I'm not going to force you to be in there. How long company takes to assign you? Company does not assign you. The other person assigned you. Serge, good luck. Good luck. Go read an article that says gamblers enjoy losing more than winning. They have the endorphins that they crave the losing chemicals. Not my words. Read it from some medical science out there. The company, there's not a company that assigns you. The question is, how long does a company take to assign you? If I sell a put, there's a buyer on the other end. Whoever that buyer is, that's who assigns you or not. How do you manage volatility in oil? I'm short oil. I have gone against the grain. I've won so far. I've won for the group. We shorted Oxy, Exxon, and the USO perfectly. We haven't reshorted, so I'm looking to reshort. Actually, I checked that. I reshorted the XLE that died on Friday for maximum gains. So I said the XLE is rallying. I want to sell a call spread in it, which is shorting with very limited funds, and it worked out. And I'm looking to reshort. I haven't decided what and how. How do you address it? You either avoid it or you learn charts and you short it based on the charts. For example, let's go to Exxon. Excellent company, management top notch. Price action, crap. This is nowhere. So when Exxon becomes cheaper, more expensive than Facebook, I sell Exxon, buy Facebook. Exxon is twice as expensive as Intel, and Intel is the largest semiconductor company on the planet as far as brains. It's larger than NVIDIA and AMD put together twice over. I would sell Exxon, buy NVIDIA. I mean, sorry, I would even buy NVIDIA, but I would buy Intel for an investment. I didn't count how many trades, but last year it was like 85% win rate. But I'm not a trade alert service, Siva. If you want to judge me on the trade alert, here's what I'm going to share with you. If you join, I guarantee it that you will become a better trader for life. This is a guarantee from me. And guess what? Now you have a month to say, no, you're a liar, and I'm going to cancel. Have at it. But Benzinga backs me up. I confidently say that if you join, you will become a better trader. Serge, I don't read the world news. So you can read as much news as you want. I'll trade facts, and that's built in here and in here. I don't need anybody's opinion to form my own. And when I need expert opinion, I go to the source. When I need to know what the Fed is doing, I don't go to Steve Leisman. I go to the Fed and read their own words and devise my opinion. All I need to know is inside the income statement of this company, inside the profit, inside the cash flow from operations, inside the valuation of this company, and I can determine whether it's a good time to own it or not. World news doesn't concern me. I don't want you to gamble in your IRA account with me, so feel free to join. Whoops, I closed my question and answer. Feel free to join, but I implore you not to gamble in an IRA account. You owe it to your family to not do that. And I'd be a jerk if I said, yeah, come with me, you can trade your IRA account. Not with a gambler's attitude. I would not want to condone that. You can do it on your own. I just don't want to contribute to it. The 7 days, that's what it used to say. Rodrigo's telling us it's 30 days. So let's see if he can confirm that. Hot Rod. Is E-Trade a good platform? It sucks, but I use it because it's very, very cheap for me. I'm an old client. Okay, so I do have a sense of humor, friend, and I just don't want to assume. I want to say the responsible thing. I would love to have you, Serge. I can help you time your entries and exit regardless of how you trade. If you trade shares, I can help you do that. I think you and I can pick good entry points, good high-level swing trade opportunities, not using fancy trade setups. You can even use just equities. If you want that, give it a shot. I think you'll have a good time. Do I trade more short, long term? I try not to short stocks. The day I decided not to short stocks as a method, I became a much happier investor. Dude, you're killing me, Serge. I don't know about your IRA limitations. I can do everything in my IRA. I can sell naked puts. So you decide what's available to you. And
Nick, and we have a good question here on the chat. Let's say basically what the person's implying is that they want to learn before they start trading. Would this be a good place where they may, where they can just learn before they, put in their first options trade?
Sorry, I missed it. Repeat it, please. Apologize.
Would it be a good place for somebody who's trying to learn before they start trading?
Yes. So here's what I suggest. If somebody joins us and if somebody is lucky enough to jump into the live room, what I recommend is use paper trading. If you're going to play, if you're going to war, they don't give you a gun and say, go. They give you a fake gun and they say, let's pretend. So take the fake money and pretend and see if you can do it consistently. And when you do it successfully and say, okay, I get it, use one contract with real money, one. So you make it work, you make $50, maybe you lose $400 or $300 or $200. And if you don't, and you make $50 and you say, "Ooh, I won," well, let's see if you can do it again and again and again and again over like 3 or 4 months, because you want to know that you're catching a couple of swing trade opportunities, like momentum, up market, down market type of a deal. And then you just scale up to 2 contracts, 3 contracts, and to the level of risk size you usually do. So learn it, practice it with fake money. I would love to help you. It's a learning experience. If I was to describe my service, is I'm here to teach people to trade like pros. So in fact, here's what I had set up. I was going to go through this. Things that professional traders should be doing, and most of all you are not doing, including how to define risk, and that's where all the problems start. How to define risk,
and this is something you do often for them, right? You do provide these chunks of education for them, right? All the time.
Right. So I'm like educating at every minute I can do it. So if somebody's in the live room, I kid you not, it's a live open class session every day, all day. You don't need to be there all day. You'll pop in, you're going to learn something. You come in and ask, "Hey, I don't get it. Can you explain it?" Or you pop in and say, "You know what? You wrote up that you did this. How did you do it? I have a question. I have this. I'm trying to time it. I'm already long. Should I add?" Blah. Every minute is a lesson.
Maybe just show them the presentation so they can get a sense, the type of education you provide inside and all that stuff.
Okay. So I shared an example earlier where somebody 2 days ago said, "Can you explain the iron butterfly?" And I explained it to the degree where somebody actually recorded it. I guess I could have pulled up the recording right now and played it. But so the explanation was, I have it on video, and it was very thorough. And so if you were there, you got the lesson. Yes, Friday, I explained it also in a different way, and somebody messed it up, but they still made money, luckily. And I'm not too worried about sharing it because it is cash settled, so the worst case scenario is somewhat limited. So here's a question I get all the time. What account size? If you want to make $1,000 per day, you need a good size account. Because you can do it with a smaller size account, but your risk will be like all of your account. And I never recommend that. But if somebody has a big account, they can risk an appropriate size to take a day trade, and you can make $1,000 a day. But you need an appropriate size account. I can guarantee you there are more than a dozen people making more than 1,000 in my group, in my live trading group, but they have good size accounts. I don't know exactly how much, but from their talk, I can tell you they have at least 50,000 to 150,000 or more. But if you have a $10,000 account and you want to make 1,000 a day, you can, but your risk size is disproportionate to the full bucket. You have a couple of bad days, you're blown out. Yes, we can. And I will see, look, listen, Anne sounds like Anne needs to be in the group. That's somebody coming to learn. I'm looking at the question from, I think it's Anne. Can he go through the presentation he just flashed? So enough with the BS. Let's go through the presentation. Right? Okay, I'm going to do that. Thanks for asking that. That is the right person I want in my room. And you should join. Okay, so this is a presentation I did a long time ago, and I loved the content so much because it's only 4 pages and 2 of them repeat themselves, and it just hammers through the messages. You are here to learn, Henry. Is that a question mark? Okay, so these are habits that traders should have. If you're not a professional trader, but you want to trade like one, this is the trader mentality of the good ones that I've met. I'm pretty sure there are some bad professional traders that don't do this. All right, so I'm going to give you a couple minutes to define risk. If you are teaching a lesson, how do you define risk? How do you teach risk? Give you a couple of seconds to formulate the answer in your head, and I can guarantee you that all of you will have the right component in there, but none of you will have it said the way I want it, even though I'm showing you the answer right here. very few of you will get it. So when I ask, I've thrown this class with 1,000 people in it, and I would say, define risk. I get all the one answer. How much can I lose? The maximum amount I'm willing to lose. Everything centers around how much. Well, that's not the part you manage. That is a decision you make. I'm willing to lose $2,000, and you move on. You discuss it with your family. They give you the okay that you're okay to risk $2,000 on this trade. And that is not a decision you manage. You make it and you move on. Sometimes you say, I'm only going to take half, like I did. Let's say I said I wanted to put $2,000 into SoFi, and I said I'm only deploying half. That means I kept half in the pocket for later to add if I want to. Okay, so what part do you manage then? This one, risk position. In options, it's position. In real life, it's odds of success. Okay, it's one thing to know how much I can lose or win. The other thing is, what are my odds of winning or losing? That's the part I manage. What do we mean? What do I mean? So let's say you wanted to buy shares in Apple, and then you say to somebody, okay, I like my odds of going long Apple right now because of blah, 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 blah. And my odds, I think, are 75%. Now, in reality, your mathematical odds when you buy shares or calls is 50%. The price can go up or it can go down. So you're really taking a coin flip. But you give yourself edge. You give yourself edge, and it's a tangible, it's not a tangible number. It's a number that you assign yourself somehow. So you say, I'm confident because, and you have your reasons, and I think I have an edge of 20% over my opponent. Who's your opponent? The person that sold you the stock. They think you're making a mistake. That's why they sold you the stock. So this is where you manage that edge. Let's say 2 weeks pass, you learn something, or you don't see something happen the way you thought it would happen in that stock. So you drop your odds of success in your head. Well, why do I like options? I'm a numbers guy. Options give me that number off a piece of paper. It's there every day, all day. It's one column in the options table on either side of calls or puts. And even if I don't trade options, I can use that number to manage my equities. Like my friend, my gambler, not gambler friend, Serge, wants to trade equities in his IRA account, which is fine. Let's say he buys Apple shares or calls. I believe his account lets him buy straight up calls to go to 220 by, say, December. So he can go into the options table and see how realistic that is. So the market makers will give you a number that says, no, it's not very realistic. So adjust your expectations. So the odds of success is the part you manage. So when I take a position, I note the odds of success in my favor, and then I see how well they perform over time. With options, every tick matters, and every tick in the time matters. So the chart movements and the time movement matters. They both matter. And my odds move accordingly. So when my odds drop below my level of expectations that is acceptable, I exit. That's how I manage my trades, by my odds of success. I have my parameters. I'll share them with you if you're part of the group, and you can adjust yours to suit your own level of risk tolerance. Not everybody's the same. I'm very conservative. I'm aggressive in real life. I raced cars. Everything that goes fast, I'm in. Bungee jumping. I fight for a sport. Yes, I'm all beat up today because I was fighting yesterday, bigger guys than I am. And when it comes to money, I am the total opposite. Plain, boring, high odds of success in my favor. So I'm here to protect my family's wealth and try to make money from other people's money. So that's why I choose credit spreads. So that's my mentality. I want my odds of success to be much, much higher than my opponent, like much higher. Okay, so that's the risk management. It's this part, not this part. All right, so habits, homework. You need to do a schmut ton of homework. And if you don't, my group gets my homework and I do a schmut ton of homework. So that is a lot of homework. Me for you. So if you don't want to do homework, I'll do the homework for you. I'll set the alerts and I'll wait an alert. In fact, you will see the alerts fire off on my screen if you're there. If not, I will share. So, and this is the most important part. So if you want to take one thing from me here today and you just learn one message and that's all you hear, take this acronym and engrave it on your computer screen or somewhere. NTNT. I made it up. No trigger, no trade. In fact, I heard it maybe 15 years ago and I stole it. Nobody else claims it, so it's mine now. Imminent domain. No trigger, no trades. Okay. So if you don't have a specific reason to take a position, you shouldn't take it. And I thought it was going to go up. That is not a reason. I thought it was going to go up or down is not a reason to take a position. Tell me why you thought it was going to go up.
Hey, Nick, really quick here, man. Have to come through for these new family members. We have a pretty big family here that joined today. Lana NH Dang, welcome. Let's go. We also have Iris E Trader from the YouTube side, and we have Melissa. So everybody, big, warm welcome there for the new family members. Let's go, guys. Come on, everybody in the chat.
Right on. You won't be disappointed. And if you are, they'll give you your money back. So no trigger, no trade.
It's 30 days, right? Because there were some questions about
it.
Right.
Somebody asked if it was 7. That's an old message. That's how much they used to give you before.
That was before, right? And then
30 days. That's insanely long. I would never give 30 days, but I'm glad they do because sometimes people jump in for 7 days and they go, "Oh, I better cancel. I better cancel."
It's just
They're
more
quick to cancel, and they don't evaluate it.
Yeah. It's a lot of time, right? Because even though people have full-time jobs, maybe they can only get into it later.
I'm fine. You can give them all the time they want. I don't care. We have enough to keep the bucket of people big and grow spread the knowledge. Okay, so NTNT, you have to be honest with yourself. I get a lot of questions. Hey, Nick, I have a call. I'm down 90% of it. How can I hedge? First of all, you're not hedging down 90%. Your fire sale. There's no hedging. You hedge a fresh position. Now you're just trying to save it. Second of all, why did you take the trade? And I usually get no answer. They didn't have a reason. I thought it was going to go up. I chased or whatever. So have a specific reason. Why? Because then when that reason goes away and you know how to go, you leave the trade. So that reason can be on the chart. It can be here somewhere. Like if somebody took long position above here, I get it. It's on the chart. Somebody may have said, "Oh, I think there's going to be another problem with the Ukraine, so I'm going to take a long because oil usually blah blah blah." So you have a fundamental reason. That's also a trigger. So it's either no trigger, no trade from the chart, or no thesis, no trade. So if you have a thesis, so you can actually set a trade, and I would believe you that you actually have thoughts into it, because then when that reason is gone, you can take it off because that's a trade versus an investment. And then manage your odds. Remember, I started the thing by saying odds. Well, in options, it's really cool. So if I sell a spread, I know exactly what my odds are when I start, and I keep a tab on it. Like on Friday, "Hey, Nick, did you close your credit put spread in blah, blah, blah?" I forget what it was. I said, "What's the delta still on that one?" They said 0.28 or whatever. I said, "No, it's still an acceptable level of risk. I still like my odds." So I can make that decision every day, every minute. I can go and see what's the delta. So the delta is the secret weapon in options. That basically is your odds of success. I'm not going to go into it here because that just turns into a lesson. But for example, I'm not the typical guy. I can teach an options class without speaking Greek. Whereas you go to all other option classes, they always start with the same stuff. First of all, most options expire worthless. That's why you all lose, because you're buying. And that's when I said the casino is in business because most gamblers lose. The market is in business because most investors lose in options. The market makers create the market in options because they make money off of everybody else's losses. So why are y'all buying stuff? You should be looking into selling stuff eventually. So if you buy with intelligence, you can do it, but it's a lot harder than people think. And the definition of the delta, if you take a class, they'll give you a fancy definition that sounds something like it's the amount of it's the change in the price of the option that follows a $1 change in the underlying. Go try and trade that definition. How about if I tell you your delta is your odds of success? Then you know what to do with it. If the delta is 0.2, then you have about a 20% chance of success. If you're a buyer, the seller has the opposite, 80. So the seller has an advantage, huge advantage over you. That's why I like to sell stuff and use the delta to manage my risk. And then you stop out. That has come up. When do I stop out and how? Many ways of stopping out. The easiest way to do it is to say, okay, I took $1,000 risk. I can tell myself I'm only willing to lose 20% of it. And that's different from person to person. There is no right answer. What level of, I told you I'm chicken when it comes to money. So I may stop out at 20%. Somebody else may stop out at 30% or 40%. So everybody's different, but at least please have a way that tells you, and stopping out works on upside.
Right.
10% profit, 20% profit. Where do you book? I book early. So stopping out, you need an exit strategy, basically.
You know what I do like a lot, Nick, is that whenever you do provide these trade, when you're, doing the live call outs and things with the folks on the live room, you provide a big backdrop of education. That's like every single time, every time you provide a trade. And for those that, personally, I'm a trader myself. I've learned a lot from Nick, especially with options. There's a education session he has. He has like some videos, right? Like what is a call? What's a put? Definition.
Yep, it's right here. What you're trying to say is when you join my group, you have access to options tab. That's me. That's my world. The first one is getting started, and it has all these videos here. So if you want a refresher class on what's a call option, what's a put option, those are the two. What's a spread? This is this one. What's a credit spread? This should be your goal, credit spreads. So, and a whole bunch of what's a cash settled index? Super important. I'm telling you, friends, this is like the best gift the SEC has given us. Daily expiration on the SPX. Yes. Thank you. I can't wait for the rest of them to join. Daily expirations, daily. So I don't even need to hold anything if I want to get 25%.
Nick, what was the strategy of this? One of the members that basically he does the same thing I don't know if it's every day or every week.
Every day.
And he just clocks in like that, something that expires the same day. Something.
Yeah, that's what he does. So. Okay. His name is Persia. I'll share it because I called him a girl once and he goes, dude, I'm a boy, but I love, no worries. You're making me money. I don't care. So the SPX trades every day, has an expiration. So when the market opens, I delve into all the options data and I'm pretty darn good at reading the data. So I tell them, here's what the chart says and here's what the data says. And if they agree, I have a bulletproof range for the day. So I sell risk below where it's not likely to go, risk above where it's not likely to go, and just leave it alone. It expires for maximum gain every day. So somebody said, Thomas, I believe, asked, how do I keep theta from eating my options? First of all, I would never use the word theta in my room, but I know what you mean. So Thomas has seen a couple of classes. Theta is the fancy term that Wall Street puts to time, because it's so much easier to say theta than time. It's not, I'm being sarcastic. Basically, when you buy an option, put or call, you immediately put time as an enemy. You want the move to happen right away. The faster the better before time runs out. Well, the market maker is the one that sells you what you're buying, and they're going to win most often. Not my words. That's what they tell us. 85% of options expire worthless, or whatever the number is. Why on earth you want to buy any of them? You want to be seller, not willy-nilly, seller with intelligence. So to answer Thomas is, I was being facetious, but not really. I try not to buy anything. I have bought options. I bought some last week. but very precise.
Hey, Nick, really quick. Got to give a shout out. John Tao, welcome to the
Hey, John,
family,
welcome,
brother.
welcome. So, John, everybody that joined, go through the videos if you want to. Take notes. Don't skip a word that you understand. Take notes, write questions. Monday morning, tonight, I will share in the chat room today I will link, as soon as I get off here, I will try to share 3 videos of the review, the videos that go with this. But tonight, I will have a video only for you guys as to what's going to happen in the week. What am I looking for? What happened last week? Last week, my answers were spot on. Spot on. If somebody watched my video last week, they did not make a mistake this week. They were not surprised of the drop. They were ready to make money off the drop. And now they were going to be ready to trade next week ahead of time. And then tomorrow morning, go into the chat room, which again, the chat room is this. It's not time sensitive. You can go in here and read my post, what I expect for today. You will also see my link to the live session. See that live session? It will be different. And then you can be with me tomorrow, Sunday. It's tomorrow, Monday. Yeah, tomorrow you'll be with me in the live room. So that's what I suggest.
And you on the chat. So what does what does this include? Is he's asking, what does this include as mentioned on the link? So basically, you get Nick Chahine 24/7 on the blue chat room that you're seeing, along with all the community, international community that we have of amazing option traders. Then you also get the live session, which is Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, where Nick is showing his screen, talking to you verbally, like vocally, text. You can private message him, showing his charts, and doing live call outs. I've joined there. I'm telling you, it's a great tool. You get that. And on top of that, you're going to get 2 bonus items that I'm giving to anybody that joins today before midnight. And I'm hooking you up with a laptop. I don't know what more I could do. That's and
a bag of money.
30-day money back guarantee. But more importantly, it's the education. You get a lot of education there. And what's the point of making money if you're not learning how you're doing that? That's really the value, the main value I see here for me personally.
That is not what Kingly, you're hearing half the message. You're hearing half the message. I did not say buy puts, buy calls. I said, first of all, avoid doing anything with options without purpose. If you're buying a put, you better have a reason. Why are you shorting the stock? Do you need protection? Do you have, hey, Alfred, do you have a specific reason why that stock is falling? I'll give you a perfect example. Let's stop this. Let's jump into a real life example. I shorted Apple on Thursday night. Okay, this is one day in Apple. So this is the daily chart in Apple. This is what all of you are used to seeing, one-day chart. On Thursday, I said I'm shorting Apple gently. So how did I short it gently? I sold risk up here. So I didn't say Apple's going to drop. I said Apple could drop down to 153. It could, maybe in the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, not in a straight shot. But I said, I don't want to find out if it does by risking my money out of pocket. So what I would do is I sold risk up here. So I gave it room to rise more and still give me a reason to win. So my short, other than buying a put, my short wins if Apple, in my scenario, if Apple doesn't fall, I win. If Apple falls, I win. If Apple rallies, I win. If Apple rallies a lot, I could lose. There's only one scenario that could blow me out. Otherwise, I'm a winner already. So I like those odds, me shorting Apple up here. So it can do whatever it wants. As long as it stays below 190, I'm fine. So that's the type of trades I like to take. So on a dip, I will turn around and do the opposite down here, because I'm sure when it comes down to here, CNBC will come out and say, blah, 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 freaking everybody out. Thank you. I'll go out and say, okay, who's freaked out? I'll take it. I'll sell a put spread, turn it into an iron condor. So I'll make money from the people who are super bullish. I'll make money from the people who are super bearish. And what do I need to do? Nothing. I want theta time to do its job. When I'm selling options, spreads, time is my friend. Theta is my friend. I'm
really
selling
quick here,
the options.
we have to give a big shout out. Paladugu All right, Paladugu somewhere out there in the chat. Welcome to the fam. Let's go.
Right on, right on. King
Look,
Lee.
we have a great crowd here, Nick. And to be honest, man, I know that this session has been packed with a lot of stuff. And I really, appreciate all the work you put into, helping retail traders, including myself. Look at Sal. Sal has a really nice comment. So Sal says, compliments on your straightforwardness and separating the wheat from the chaff without wasting any data. I mean, time. Excellent. So, I mean, this is basically like a sneak peek, guys. I'm telling you, like, you could go into a what is it, a ton of rabbit hole, whatever, with Nick when it comes to options, and then that becomes your world. And when it comes to learning, you definitely want to immerse yourself into that world. That's what this is about. The community, everybody helps each other out. You have an instructor, you have live trades. I mean, all this stuff, it really goes a long way to helping traders out there.
I appreciate it. So somebody's asking risk reward. The way I do it, the way I do it is between 18 and 25% is my parameters. I'll give you an example. There's a Jim K in my group. I go out and say, here's the iron condor I want to sell. Okay, I collect $1 in total. I'm risking $4. That's 25% yield in a couple of hours. He comes out and says, here's my version. And he collects like $1.80, which is so much more aggressive than me. He has much lower odds than me, but that's the level of risk he prefers. So he loses more often than I do, but when he wins more than I do, and he risks less money. So potato, you like his strategy, you can use his. I offer it. I give the extreme example of the iron butterfly. So, okay, you wanted lessons. Let's do it. Let's do an iron butterfly lesson. Okay, so and quick lesson. So a credit put spread, that is a spread strategy. I love this spread. So let's say Apple or Tesla is falling out of control into a support level. I'm using this as a grid as a scratch pad, nothing to do with Apple. And if Tesla is falling out of control, I'm willing to say, okay, it's hitting levels that I'm confident that it won't fall through. I'll sell somebody some risk down here. So that's called the credit put spread. I collect money. No money leaves my account. They lock a little bit of money. Everything is cash secured. I'm not borrowing anything. Margin, the word margin is different here. It's just, if I have a $10,000 account and this trade could only lose 500, then they'll reserve 500. So this is a credit put spread. Let's say a stock is rallying like Apple was. I'll sell a credit call spread. That's the opposite trade. Credit means collection. So the net result of my order is a credit into my account. Cash goes into my account. It's not mine until the trade is set. So I did this in Apple. So I want the Apple price not to go through it. If I did this in Apple before, I want price not to fall through it. So if time passes and Apple stays between the two, most often it does, I win on both ends. Okay, so that's an iron condor. These two together make up an iron condor. These two, this is a credit put spread. This is a credit call spread. Both together is an iron condor. So on a daily basis, I also share something that I don't like to do because it's low odds, high pay, low risk, but low odds. That's the part I don't like. If I move these two to have them touch, they become an iron butterfly. So this is now an iron butterfly, which means what? I need it to close exactly in the middle and I win my maximum gains. I'm risking $50 to make $450. So if I get it nailed, I make $450. If price is here or here, I lose $50. If price is down here, I lose $50. If price is up here, I lose $50. I cannot lose more than $50. But if I nail it, I win $450. If it closes here, I win a couple $100 less. If it closes here, a couple of $100 less. So here's my break-even zone on this iron butterfly. So this was the explanation I did the other day. So I do these on a daily basis because they expire every day now, the SPX. You can't do this with Apple. You cannot do this with Apple. Let me repeat it. You cannot do this with Apple. You will be assigned. SPX, there's no assignment. So I do it in the SPX on a daily basis. And sometimes I do trades like this that are easy. This is a regular butterfly. Yes, we do have fun. A regular butterfly that made a lot of money in 2 separate occasions, but intraday, it's a lot of learning. It's a lot of opportunities. Look at all the comments. Every arrow is a profit opportunity because I draw the arrows ahead of time and they act on them, they make money. I'm not fast enough to take advantage of all of my trades because I'm actually helping people. And if I'm liable to make mistakes, but I do follow, I do often the iron condors. Is Benzinga Pro available with the package? I'm not sure. That's something for Rodrigo. So that is part of Pro Habits. Now, I told you earlier, if you take one thing out of this whole, is this one. Don't ever take a trade. Please don't ever take a trade without being specific. If you cannot convince the litmus test, consider yourself going to borrow money from your aging parent or an aging relative that has a set number of amount of money and saying, let me borrow some money from you so I can put you in this position. That's how confident I am. You need to be confident. If you cannot do this, just why are you wasting your own money and not your family's? So if you're honest enough to unless you're a sociopath, to risk somebody else you care about's money, then you're honest to yourself that you would take it. And here's the other thing. 2 things to take. That was one. The other one is don't ever average down. Don't ever average down. I don't know one successful trader that does it. In fact, I know all of them that have a rule. You do not average down. Averaging in, okay. I'll give you the difference. I said I bought Verizon. I said I bought 50%. That means I'm averaging in. I bought Verizon. I left room to get to my maximum risk. Let's say somebody took a full-size position. They usually buy 100 shares. They bought 100 shares. Verizon gets cut in half. Now they have to double their problem in order to average in. Don't average down. If you took your full-size trade, you just put all your risk in one time, you're gambling. It falls apart, you're doubling your problem. You have a problem, you're doubling your problem. You can still believe it's called DCA, or if you're using DCA to that term, that is so bad. You do it often enough that you actually have an acronym for it, which is dollar cost averaging. That's a crap scenario. I'm telling you something. You tell it to somebody. My favorite stock. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. How did DCA work out to these people? They went bankrupt. I picked this because I covered it in a couple of videos, and once it lost 18, right here, I was long. I said, don't touch that chart. Walk away. It's going to zero. I got shellacked. And in fact, I didn't say it's going to zero, but I said it jokingly, but mathematically it was going to zero. And then they said, oh, you don't know about the warrants and whatever. The warrants were at 11. Whoever dollar cost averaged, they lost all their money. You don't dollar cost average. You average into a position, but you don't average down. So if somebody took their 100 shares or 1,000 shares up here, and then they doubled their position here, and then they doubled their position here, and then they doubled their position here, they're toast. You don't dollar cost average. You don't average down. You average in. If somebody wanted to own 1,000 shares and did 300 here and added 300 here and added 300 here, okay, I can understand that. But pick the right stock. This one doesn't even have an income, so that's not the stock to do it with. You can do it in Apple. You don't have a question about its fundamentals. You know it's a cash machine. It's just a matter of time for it to bounce. So if you mistimed entry here, but only 1/3 of the position, and then you added another third here, and then you added the third here, so then your entry cost is here. It's not a disaster. It's not cool, but it's not a disaster. Okay, so no averaging down. Well, there is no need to navigate Siva, but yes, and here's the cool thing. You're unsure about anything, you pop into the chat room and say, hi, Siva here. I just joined. I'm kind of lost. What do I do next? Then I'll tell you every morning, Siva, come in here, read my notes, follow the instructions, come check in the afternoon, rinse and repeat every day. You can have $0, Gary. If you're jumping in wanting to trade right away without learning the method first, if you're trying to learn something new, if you know options already and you jump in and you adjust your trading to suit my style, that's fine. But if you're jumping in, you don't know much about options, you don't know much about investing fast or relatively fast or swing trade opportunities, I highly advise you use $0, use fake money to learn the craft. I took one vacation, Kenneth. That's an odd question, but I love it. And here's the thing. So when I went on vacation, it was for 11 days. So 1.5 weeks of actual trading. Somebody stepped up and shared their screen live all day, every day in this room. I couldn't freaking believe it. I felt so guilty that I spent half my day there anyway from vacation. It's an unusual question. It's cool though.
Right. And Siva, good question. Once I sign up, is there a video explaining how to
welcome.
navigate the site? Yeah, we do have a customer care team, tech support team. It's not just me and Nick, but I'll tell you something, man. Siva, Nick and myself, we started this chat room over about a year ago or something like that. It was just me and him. There's no one in this chat room. It came out of demand, and I really love like engaging with our users, and I talked to a lot of people that had his subscriptions here, and everybody just wanted a little bit more, a bigger piece of Nick. They wanted more guidance. They wanted to be with him. And so we started the chat room out of our own users' demand. And then that's pretty much like, I think like 90% of the people that are in that chat room, or a big percentage, already had something with Nick. They already knew Nick. So these are people that already, had known Nick from his trade alerts and stuff. So seeing this chat room grow, seeing about like 350 people there, seeing the amount of help, just towards traders in general, the education. There's so much more that you cannot put in a newsletter when it comes to what we do with the chat room. And then Nick took it to the next level, and then he pretty much injected this live room where he's sharing his screen, talking to users back and forth, dealing with all that stuff. I mean, what was the last time that you ever got a class for for this amount for a whole year, where you had the instructor there Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and then on Sundays? It just doesn't happen. So there's a lot of effort and work that goes into this. So just want you guys to get the big picture of how this chat room came about.
Correct. So somebody's asking me, they missed the advice on Oxy. I didn't give any advice, except the only advice I would say, if I'm chasing because Buffett is buying, I better know why. So here's the answer I have for any oil trade is, this is not an obvious entry point. In fact, I have a preset answer for oil trades. My answer to every oil company: investors should avoid, traders can do their thing. This is not an obvious entry point. So just look at it. Look at it. It's been here many times before. These are weeks. Massive fail, 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 question mark. I wouldn't go long. If my mother comes to me and says, I'm looking to invest in Oxy, no, mom, you shouldn't. But it could go to 100. Yes, it could. It should go without you. This is a trade, not an investment. You're 91. You can't invest it. So I spar with a guy who works as a crane operator to one of the subsidiaries, and he disappears months at a time. He said the company that he works for, which is a subsidiary of Oxy, the P&L looks great. They haven't made this much money in a long, long time, but their production is down 30-something%. What if oil gets hacked? Back to real life. Oil is high this period of time because of artificial things going on. When oil goes back to real life scenario, which is about 55, the income statements of all these companies are going to go whoop, because production is down. The reason why they're making more money is because per unit price is higher. Now Buffett is looking to buy the company. I think he's making a mistake, but even then, his company is so successful that for us to say we're going to trade like Buffett, we'd be crazy. We cannot trade like whales. They're investing in buying a business. They're not investing in the stock of Oxy. So he's willing to pay this much value for Oxy because he wants the cash flow for a decade or two. He's not looking to make money off of the stock from here to here. I'm going too far to prove my point. I don't understand. I ain't no one. Oh, Ravi. Okay.
Is this the same man?
Okay, so why don't you come to my gym and I'll prove it to you. He's about 270 pounds if you want to argue with him. Maybe you can tell him liar in his face.
We have Anne in the chat room. Funny. I think this is the same man. Nick, I like your simplicity in explaining things. Wow, I understood the iron condor and butterfly and no delta and theta. But yeah, I mean, this is just, some of the things that Nick can kind of shed a light on, per se.
Yep. Thanks, Anne. I knew your questions were good from the comment earlier. So, listen, whoever Ravi is, Bobcat, good on you, man. You have conviction. Don't waste your time with me here. Feel free to leave the room right away. As far as the rest of you, that was a true story. And besides the point, that is a true fact. You can go verify it, that production is down. P&Ls are up on the price of the commodity. So that's a fact. It's not an opinion. He seconded it for me. I said, where have you been? I haven't seen you in months. He said, I'm a crane operator. And that's what I've been, working. And then we got to talking. We got to talking about my son, who's a welder. He gave me the advice to give my son to go register in the union here. He said he can pick up part-time work that's 6 figures. So make that stuff up. You can't, Ravi. And my point is not my opinion, it's fact. Production is down, price is up, P&L reflects the price impact, not the production increase. There we go. Hey, listen, I'm not going to argue with you, friend. You're clearly smarter than me, so I'm inviting you to leave. Okay, let's give me a ticker so we can trade.
All right, let's take a look at MNMD.
Ravi's butthurt about it. Okay, and NVIDIA? You listened to half of my my statement. You didn't listen to anything I said about Oxy. Okay. NVIDIA is not my pick to be long because I've been consistent with it. There was a neckline of Head and Shoulders that they lost somewhere around 220. Same with AMD, exactly the same comment. So the bears have those stocks in a Head and Shoulder breakdown to where the downside scenario is much lower. Although I don't forecast us to go there in one felt swoop, as they say. I don't want to risk my money on them. And here's the logic. Great companies, excellent management, excellent product, good reputation, too expensive NVIDIA. Second, AMD is about 40% cheaper. Intel, forget about it. Value is unbelievable. But so if they are rallying, they're going to be rallying with the S&P. So I want to avoid all the junk that comes with chip stocks, supply issues. So if they're rallying, the S&P is rallying, I would invest in the S&P or even Apple versus NVIDIA because it doesn't have that chip overhead.
Right, really
the
quick
S&P
here, Nick,
is a better bet.
Want to give a big shout out here, newest family member, Stanley Caldwell. Welcome to the house, brother. Let's go.
Hey, Stanley.
Welcome, Stanley.
Cool. And let me show you, where's my markup? So look at this. Look at the importance of 71. I want to warn you now, even you, friend, whatever his name was, Ravi, listen to this. If this is an agnostic statement, whatever this ticker is, happens to be AMD, but get that out of your way. If 71 fails, exit. Okay, exit. That means technically it could go to like 28. Not saying it's going there, not saying what will get it there. I'm saying that technically that becomes a scenario. Now, this is what happened here. They lost this, and I said the same thing. Get out, it's going to 60. when that happened. It came pretty close. They bounced and they never stopped that scenario. That scenario is still there. Look, that's the neckline they lost. They have not recovered it. And these ticks are not recovery. They're trying. So what the bulls need to do is hold 80 to come back and take this out so they can negate this head and shoulder scenario. Head and shoulder 1, head and shoulder 2. So what would bring it down to here? I don't know, market crash? Where is the market crash going to come? I don't know, black swan. I can tell you one thing. So go do homework about Elliott wave, which I'm not an expert in. I know enough about it to read the reports. There are several really good Elliott wave people out there that are waiting on wave 5 of 5 that takes the SPX to 2900. Now, I'm not going to tell you it's going there. I'm telling you there are pretty good chartists that tell you that that's going to happen. So that's why I say the VIX is 20. That's pretty high. There's so many uncertainties in the world. We could have a headline that actually changes the game. Now, I don't watch headlines that are stupid, but a headline that says maybe another war opening up, that actually changes the P&Ls of companies. That headline matters. Let's say the Fed decides to flip a scenario from bearish to bullish. That will change the actual trajectory of stocks because it brings more cash into the system. I don't think they should, but they're probably going to. What if there's another, God forbid, terrorist attack, a significant one that changes things? That's not baked into the price. What if there's a presidency change in the US? Wall Street hates uncertainty. You bring in the variable that big into the head, 15% easy, bounce another 15% lower, just because they don't want to deal with the question mark that comes from that. Not to say he's good or bad or anything. It's just a new level of questions that they don't have an answer to, which they don't have an answer. So what brings you here? I don't know. All I know is if this is lost, I want out. I would get long into it and stop out if we go below it.
Right. And that's the thing. Like there are people in your chat room that some of them that just trade equities. Some people are long-term investors. Some people trade Forex. I mean, you have people from all sorts of backgrounds and all sorts of parts of the world. It just makes it a little bit more interesting. Always
So
that.
I have two people that have come out of the closet, so to speak, in trading in my group as pure futures traders. So now they're like on me about every tick of the futures. So, somebody said, how do I trade Monday? Henry, watch this. So 3 days ago, I think 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I said, today's color is orange. I kid you not. Okay. I said, today's actually more than 3 days ago. I drew this before it happened. Look at how price unfolded. This drawing was there before any of it happened. So if this doesn't help you trade, I don't know what else to do. And then I added this level of support. If this is lost, we're going to here. We'll see how much of it. Short-term buyers, we bounced Friday. But this orange line was here before it actually transpired. I also said this would be a trigger up, but they never fired. So to answer your question, Henry, how do I trade? I follow my lines. So I set the lines and I put both scenarios. So when we got to here, I said, we're going to bounce. I drew this line. Every effort should fail. Don't chase blindly. So those who read that note before the market opens, they knew that we could rally and we're going to fail. We rallied to here and look at that, how close it is to mine, and it failed. And that was my target on the downside. And look at where they stopped that day. So I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know it's going to. This happened a lot faster.
Right. And we have Brian there on the YouTube side. Brian Heflin. Hey, Nick, it's Goose. Your work ethic is incredible. It's one of the best values I've ever purchased. That's Goose from the chat, right?
Goose, you're here somewhere. One of these is Goose. There he is. Goose. That's Goose. So I don't know what you're doing here. Go have fun. So here's another one. I think, did I put it here? I didn't put it in here. Anyway, it had equally as good orange here. Load new layout. I'm going to show you. This one.
Yeah, and Gary has a quick, it says Gary, just refresh your page if you're getting some, just refresh the checkout. If it's giving you that error message, just give it a quick refresh. Venue, the price is annual venue, just those questions on the chat.
Okay, so these orange lines were there before the price action happened. So one day before they opened, I said, here are the lines for today, and I drew a bunch of these lines. I said the color for today is orange. If we break out from here, expect here with a lot of resistance here, as this said. If we lose this, then this is the downside. So somebody got upset with me one time and left the room all upset. Well, you draw both lines and then you say you were right. Like, no. I draw both lines and say, wait, ping pong the action, and then chase the breach of either. And yes, I was right about the extension happening and that line mattering. So I know what to do when this is breach. I know to come down here and buy the dip. I know what to do and when to chase. And so, yes, I do draw lines. So I can tell the bull what to do. I can tell the bear what to do. And I can tell what the iron condor should be at. Instead of arguing with me, take the information and use it. So I'm agnostic. I don't care which way the price action goes, as long as I know that they're going to be accurate. For example, I said, watch out. If we lose this, we're going to get to here. If we get to here, there's support here and here. So that gives me an action plan. So if you read this message and you're trading in Zimbabwe on your own and you cannot come to me during the day, you know what I'm thinking. Okay, support, buy. So it depends on my speed. I'm not fast enough to buy this or that. I would be the guy buying this dip by selling put spread down here. Again, so I lay out the scenarios I see that are going to happen.
So these are not like, flash racer trades. These are conservative trades for people that maybe have a full-time job.
That is the layout before the day starts. Let's say you're just looking at charts and you're interested in managing your risk that day. You get a note before the market opens with the lines that matter.
Right.
So yes, it works for every speed. This was the Friday crazy trade on the SPX. 4230 was the iron butterfly. And where did it close? 4228.50. So the 4220 got 50% of its maximum gains. And those who did 4225 got 30% of their maximum gains. Air math, don't hold me to it. So they both won. I said, we either close here or here. We closed at 4228, which is the middle of here and here. And that was a guess I made. When the market opened, I said, oh boy, the SPY data tells me that this is where they want to be. And this is where they closed. Middle of the afternoon, I said, that's the box. And I keep updating the box and shrinking it and shrinking it and shrinking it. And boom, delivered profits. So yes, if you want to be actively trading, fine. If not, you can learn the concepts and they apply to any period of time. Here's the S&P.
It's like these trades that, to put it in terms that I guess everybody can understand, is trades you don't have to be babysitting, looking at the chart every second. If you have other stuff to do, right? You have other stuff to do, right?
So this was a line I drew before the action happened. Look, okay, so I didn't nail but this is where they stopped. And here's a line I drew like a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I said, this is a potential, and it happened. I said, if it does happen, might happen. So I prepared you for the dip. I told you what's going to happen after the dip, and this is what happened. They overdid it, of course. Wall Street, gotta love it. And now they're taking it back. So now we're not even back to that. So now we're back to the neckline. So what happened between here and here? Nothing. Everything that happened here is normal price action in an abnormal market. So if you're an active trader and you see all these lines ahead of time and you see them come to fruition almost every time, you gain confidence in the price action. You depend less and less on news. I promise you, I watch zero news. I promise. I haven't turned on CNBC except to watch the Fed speak because they cover it earlier than the actual Fed website. And then I turn it off. I don't need Steve Leisman to tell me what he thought of it. Okay. I don't need coverage from anybody's opinions. Some people shove opinions down my throat by putting them in here. Did you hear what so-and-so said? Whatever. No, I didn't, but thanks for letting me know. So if I'm a fundamental trader, if you noticed when somebody asked me about a stock, I immediately go to here. What did the company do? Let's see, LCID, for example. What did the company do? I'll go in here and see if I can get some financials out of it. And then I say, I wouldn't do anything about this company without knowing its charts. By the way, this trade yielded results. I shared it with the gang.
Yeah, and we have a lot of people that join here, so just want to give everybody a heads up. Once we're through with the session, I'm going to give you guys a quick walkthrough of the chat room of a couple things there, so that you can kind of get a sense of what it is that you're looking for and all that.
Sorry, I missed that last bit. I'm sorry, Rod. My mind is straying. Say that again.
No,
please.
you're good here. Just letting the folks know, all the people that joined, that at the end I'll do a walkthrough of the chat room, of everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. All right. What are the brown and blue charts on the left? There's somebody who's paying attention. Thanks. Good question. So the question is this: what are these things here? So you've heard price is truth. Okay. So yes, it's a volume profile. So for example, these volume bars down here, they tell you when a trade happened. It's useless information to me. Who cares that they loved it and sold it here? I want to know at what level. And this tells me that 18.2 is the hotly contested level for this period of time. So since August 3rd, the bulls and bears loved it around 18, plus or minus 20 cents. High volume bars. So that's what that means. Blue and green, I mean, not the two colors is uptick, downtick. I don't pay attention to that. It is volume profile. If you want to learn volume profile, it's very meaningful. When they say price is truth, that's what it means. Okay, so Jade, if you want intraday trades and you cannot be in the live chat room, I'm not responsible for your trades. The chat room trades, the live room trades are for live room people. If you don't have time to be in the live room, there is no way on earth you have time to day trade. Fast swing trades. So no, I don't share them. The live trading room setups are for the live room. Anything that has overnight potential, I share in the chat room. You don't need to be in the live room. I don't know if they send out, I don't send out anything. So.
Right. So yeah, those are separate, but I mean, we can look into that. We can with the chat room and stuff like that. So
lifetime membership. I've never seen that before. That puts pressure on me to get healthy. I am healthy.
Yeah, and so yeah, Jade, send over an email if you have questions about that. But Nick, as far as we've gone over options education here for about a solid 2 hours, man. Now, are there anything in the market as far as sectors that you want to cover? I know that you're really passionate about the energy sector.
So here, I tell you one thing. So be open. Don't trade your opinions. Okay. Have an opinion, trade the action. And here's the biggest one. I can't tell you, I have thousands of members, thousands. And the question I had most, why are you looking to buy the dip? When we were falling, why are you looking to buy the dip? We are in a recession. Can we cuss? We can't cuss. Who gives a crap? The economy is not the stock market. Plus the bull crap about us being in a recession is total, utter bull crap. What we have now is not a recession. It's something new. We don't have a word for it yet. We have never had more successful companies. All the companies are reporting, they're reporting records, everything. Maybe slightly lower than records.
Big shout out here. Shavy dude, welcome to the fam. Let's go.
Right on. They're reporting records, everything. We have close to record deposits, record spending or close to record spending. So, and Powell cannot raise rates. Trust me, my thesis is he cannot raise rates. He will create an insolvency problem, which the White House definitely does not want. He can threaten raising rates. So what did he accomplish? He accomplished by destroying demand. So he cannot control supply. That's why we have shortages for everything. He can't do anything about that. So his solution was to destroy demand, people buying stuff. How can he destroy demand? He's causing people to get fired and people to not get hired. So that freaking moron, and I would say it to his face, was hired to do two things. The Fed was formed to do two things. They formed the Fed to grow jobs without creating inflation. That's their job. Grow jobs, don't create inflation. Last year, he said, okay, I can create jobs. I'm going to create a schmut ton of inflation along the lines, but trust me, it's transitory. And then this year, he said, holy crap, I overdid it with the jobs. Let me destroy some jobs in order to control the beast I created last year or helped create. So the White House is 1,000% at fault, the whole government, at creating the inflation we have. And now they're trying to control a super hot economy. Yes, this is a super hot economy that they're trying to cool down. How is that recession? Well, first of all, we had one quarterly report that was negative. We do not have a second one. We have a first month update and it's negative, and it's a less negative than the one before. And even after 2 full quarters, which means we still have 2 months almost to get the second quarter that's negative, the actual recession does not get announced if the Bureau says, nope, that's technicality, we're not going to announce the recession. So they changed the rules, first of all, and we still have 2 months. I would be shocked if they actually announce a recession, and I wouldn't care less. It's not going to change the way I trade. The stock market is not the economy. Recession in the stock market is minus 20%. Did you know that Apple was 4.7% away from the all-time high last week? Did you know that? Tell me it's a recession for Apple. It's not. So this is a correction. This right here is a full-blown correction in Wall Street terms. That's the S&P. That's a correction, okay? This is a recession in S&P in stock terms. And then we bounced from the low 20%. So now from the high, we are in a correction, not a recession. If you want to use Wall Street recessionary terms, we're not in one. If you want to use economy recession terms, who gives a fart? Yeah, they're liars. The reports are junk. The data is unreliable. And then they make up the rules on the fly. So don't confuse the economy with you trading stock. Don't short because they said we're in a recession. You would have lost a bunch of money if you shorted because you thought we were going into a recession. Even the bears know it. Even the perma bears know it. So what are we doing here? Nothing. We're just selling rallies. That's what we're doing. I said that last week before the week started. 2 Sundays ago, I said, I'm looking for the rally to be sold. I'm going to be sniping. I'm going to buy dips along the lines.
Right. No, that makes sense. And Brian Heflin over there on the YouTube side, very active, my friend. Basically explaining here to some of the folks that have questions there, letting them know that it's just, a great environment. It's like joining a dojo. You learn technical analysis while you're learning options, a great learning environment. But that's the thing. It's really hard to kind of give this a name because there's so much that goes into it, like education on technicals, fundamentals, acquisitions, things that are happening that people are trading.
That's why I'm saying I guarantee you'll be better for it, because I literally have 320 people in one room talking to each other all day, every day. The ideas, the concepts, did you see this? Did you see that? The discussion is so broad. We're getting smarter together. I have to up my ante. I just spoke about Elliott waves. I don't know Elliott waves, and now I know more than I've ever, to the point where I put in an Elliott wave tracker on my chart so I can train my eyes to see what Elliott wave people see. Not because I use it to trade. I don't. I just want to see what they see in order to train my eyes. I have harmonics here. I don't know harmonics, but I know how to use them very, 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 very well. And it's $1,000 software that I would pay for 3 times over. So it is growth. I have to grow to keep up with you and your skills. I have to grow because you might have questions. I've educated myself on DEX and GEX, which I don't use. I don't use Gamma. Now I'm smarter with Gamma. I don't use whatever they call DEX. I forget the Delta, whatever it's positioning, because I don't need it. but now I added it to my portfolio because other people use it. So I have to be able to speak your language. Jade, I got you, man. I got you.
Yeah, well,
I made
that's
the
the thing.
I made the joke about myself, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, and Gary, don't worry. I'll reach out to you, man, after the session here. But um, look, that's the thing, Nick. So, like, for example, all this stuff, right? You're talking about education. You're talking about, live trading with these people. Ultimately, the way that I look at it, it's like having a live instructor the whole day. Like, I mean, you could be a trading partner for them, you can be a teacher for them, you can be a guide for them, right? And even there are people there that love the fact that you expanded into cryptos, you expanded into all these other things. And look, if you're trading options, even if you're just trading stocks and you don't like options, you can learn so much from options traders and from what they're looking at, the data, and that applies as well to other types of traders. So I think it's a great thing that we have that salad of mixed traders there.
Yes. So here's Anton is making the point that oil's been going up since September, and I've been shorting it and haven't lost once on it. So you can trade the price action, and if you're good with charts, it doesn't matter if you're fighting the trend as long as you do it smartly. One of our biggest wins was shorting Oxy at the right time. Oxy and Exxon, they were naked puts that just exploded in our favor. So yes, oil has been going up on false pretense since September. I think the long term, do not pay for subscription. Okay. Someone who knows charts, Bollinger Bands. There you go, throwing out words.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, here's the thing, Nick. When being here, right, with Benzinga here for about 2 years, I've talked to about maybe 8,000 traders around the world, right? I really have a good sense of what these traders think about, their struggles and things like that. And it's really not something that people want to talk about, but it's really common, unfortunately, for retail traders to blow up their accounts, especially with options if they don't know what they're doing. Do people brag about it? No, I'll tell you, I've blown up my account twice doing that. And I think it's really good because we can, take the stigma away from it. Like, if it's true, if you don't know what you're doing, you can get hurt. And if you're trying to learn a new craft, it's pretty obvious. Like, if you're trying to learn jujitsu, if you're trying to learn to become a lawyer or a doctor, having a mentor, a teacher is almost essential to being successful at this, right? Because that's why you want to do it. You don't just want to throw money away, right?
Yeah. There's a fight. I love it. Look, some people already defending us. That's hilarious. Yeah, there's plenty of room for that. Anyway, you can concentrate on spewing out whatever, or you can get help until you get good on your own. And then if you find a community that actually helps you grow. And again, I'm inviting you to join, not for me, because of the community. 320 traders in there. They keep coming back every day, all day. So clearly, another lover. Clearly, there's something to be had. Somebody that kicked out, maybe they got kicked out. Nothing is free.
No, it's just having some issues there with the checkout there, but don't worry, Gary, I'll reach out, brother. But look, guys, look, you have some time here until midnight. However, I don't know until when the laptops are going to be there, because we do have limited amount of laptops, with the chip situation. It's not that easy to come across these laptops anymore. But Nick, this has been a good session here. To be honest, what are some thoughts on the markets that you have overall? Just specific stocks, like just things that are happening in the markets that catch your eye.
Look at that guy. Well, duh. Okay, so there, in general, the markets are toppy for the short term, and they could slip lower. In particular, there are some good deals, and I just shared two. SoFi has had a lot of shakeouts recently. I think the below 6, they have strong hands. Verizon, it's selective long for somebody that wants fixed income. I mean, 6% is pretty enticing with a good P&L, but the whole market's in danger. So if the S&P falls, everything's going to fall. And there are people out there that are forecasting disaster, like the Elliott Wave people are forecasting a giant drop. I have to respect that. How do I respect that? Whatever I'm doing, I say, you know what? I better leave some dry powder just in case these guys are right, and I better put in some bearish positions. So coming into Friday, I was short the S&P everywhere. How? By selling call spreads everywhere, including Friday. I was short at 4305 and higher for the next 2-3 weeks. Okay. And on the dip, I sold some put spreads to balance me out. So to make sure that I'm in balance. So I'm long some stocks, and then I'm also short the whole index. So I'm creating balance. So on a bad day, when everything is falling, like Friday, everybody says, do we buy this dip? And it's like, what dip? It's one red tick inside of like 16 other green ticks before them. That's not a dip. That's just one red day. So I don't have to do anything. I have some losses in some of the stocks. I have a lot of gains. For example, I'm long Twilio. I shared along on the dip, made a lot of money for the team. I said I would book it. So I didn't book it. But what I did is I consistently sold aggressive covered calls against my long. So on Friday, I was short Friday action, but long October. I think October. I mean, long, no, 35 days, whatever it is. Anyway, so I will sell more calls against it for this week to see if I want to stay long Twilio. If not, I'll just bail on it, having booked some profits. So balance. Okay, how about we end it here? For me.
Right. No, well, I mean, just for everybody to know, we were pretty much just scheduled here for like 1 hour, but then, Nick went hardcore and one thing led to another. We stayed for an extra hour here. So yeah, Nick, I mean, anything that you do want to highlight before we move on to the live room walkthrough that I'll be doing here with the members?
No, just join me. You won't regret it. And if you do regret it, you have a way out. And please do not sign up the guy that's already fighting me. I don't have effort. I don't have the energy to fight with them, whatever D is and the other person. You have my permission to bail them out if they already subscribe.
And okay, and that sounds absolutely amazing there. Nick Chahine, lead trader, options inner circle chat room, trading mentor, educator, and your best friend as well. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, so kick me out. I don't know where the exit button is. Kick me out.
Hold up 1 second, man. Hold up.
Maybe I kick myself out somewhere.
All right, I haven't done this, but let me.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. I found it. Later, bye.
All right, we kick Nick out of here. And folks, for all you guys that are here, I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough and I'll show you some nice videos of that Nick has posted here, right? Education stuff, trade alerts, things like that. For all you guys that just joined, this is, we're going to start going over a quick walkthrough. Gary, I know you were having issues with the checkout. I would say maybe, hang on there before we get on the phone and talk. But the contact is there for you guys to reach out. Email would be better if you have questions. So this is the live trading room. This is the static chat room. It's open 24/7. Trade alerts, education, conversation, it's all here. There's 2 channels. There's one called Inner Circle Chat, and that's where everybody's talking, right? Nick and all the members. Then you have Nick's important messages. This is where only Nick can post. So you will find here a post in the morning, just like this, right? These are some of these other videos, but basically in this type of post, you're going to see something that says live session. Below you will have all of the indexes charted. It comes out at about 8:30 a.m. Eastern every day, trading day. And this is the link that you want to do to click to go to the live session Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So I'm joining the meeting, right? And let's see. All right, you have the chat room there. I think everybody's already left, but the meeting is still kind of there, the link to join. And you can see you have that chat room on the left side, okay? And that's where you can talk with Nick back and forth, private message. And he will be sharing his screen so that you can ask him a question on the chat, private or public, and he can answer it live. This could be an education question, a trade alert question, guidance on how to make a certain trade, all that sort of stuff. So Nick will join here during the Monday to Friday 9 to 5. That's really the schedule for this thing. For this is the live room. If you want to trade live or if you want to talk to Nick like right away. So we have some people that are joining. I'm not sure. I mean, but anybody can come in here and join. As far as the members of the chat room, of course. Then these are some really good education videos. If you're starting out, I know that there were several new people that were starting out here. So I just wanted to give you this really quick. You will get really important stuff here, like what are options, definitions, what's a spread, credit put spread, calls, options, what type of trade is the best trade to make. You can do a credit put spread, credit call spread, a covered call. You can sell, I mean, you can do so many things within the options universe. And it's just, pretty much like building your arsenal as an options trader. If you're just buying calls or buying puts, you're really limiting what you could do as an options trader. So these two videos in the bottom are very good, right? That way you can know what all these different types of trades are, which ones are, which ones work better, which ones are best for certain types of situations. All right. And there are some trade alerts as well that will be added with the actual chat room. And let me just show you a little bit of how this session looks like. So this is the video for, let me see where he posted it. Okay, so this is from August 19th. This is a couple days ago, but just to give you an idea, this is a video that he did post there in the morning. Let's just check it out really quick here. And okay, let's check it out right now. Let's see what's up.
Hey traders, Nick here. This is Friday before the market opens. We're looking at a down 1%. The goal of this video is to kind of tell you first of all, the conclusion is that we're down 1%. We could bounce, but the bounce should fade, and we should probably get to where they are going to try to get to 4,200 down here. But I would start to get some longs at around 42.20. Consider them for a trade. So how could we have seen this coming? Every morning I share a write-up. Yesterday, Thursday the 18th, before the market opened, I shared a write-up that laid out the scenario perfectly. And I made it in orange. I said, I'm picking orange for today. And this was it, this guy. I said, rallies should fade. I'll put it back where it was. And this was my drawing before the yesterday's morning started. And check out how accurate this thing was. And the target of this was here, but the target of that orange line is a little bit lower. So that's why I think they're going to come down to 4,200. I think they will find a lot of buyers at 42.20 and lower, and we'll see what happens there. So what's the point of this video? First, to tell us that the drop is normal price action. If it wasn't, how could I have drawn it ahead of time? Almost perfectly. I was off by a couple hours. So it is normal price action. You might be running to the news and trying to find out why we're dropping. It doesn't matter why. If we laid it out beforehand, we don't really need to know why. I mean, it's interesting, but it's not going to make me money, so I don't need to listen to it. Rallies should come under fire, and they should fade, and they should continue lower highs. So if we bounce towards 42.70, I would not buy calls. I would not chase the price action. That's different than saying buying stocks for an investment. As price action, if this comes to here, I think they'll sell it. They'll finish this. Maybe they get to here. So that's the plan. Rallies should fade. Don't chase blindly. And if they fade and we come back to the place from which they bounce, losing that place will cause more downside. Okay, so I'll share more charts for today. But this is a small video to reset the price action and tell you that this is not unusual. You're looking at down 1%. We haven't seen red in a while. It's going to feel painful, but it's normal price action. We drew it ahead of time. We're not seers. Like, we don't see the future. That's why this is normal price action. It's hard to convince people of that. But when you draw a price path this accurate, it's not a coincidence. We do it all the time. If you don't see it all the time, That's reason enough for you to read the morning note. I have many charts in there. They're pretty accurate. Good luck trading.
All right, folks. And that was just a quick video there that Nick posted recently. Let's go ahead and just kind of look a little bit so that you guys can get a sense of how these posts look. You can kind of recognize them off the bat, a bunch of links, charts of the indexes and the futures as well. I know that somebody here was talking about trading futures. We do have future traders as well inside the room. We have a whole bunch of different traders. This is the general chat. You can see there's a lot more activity here because, you know, it's a back and forth. But I do want to let you guys know something. There are sound alerts as well that you can get. And it's right here, right? So you see those bells are yellow. So that means that whenever there's a post there, you will have that pop sound. It will give you that sound alert, right? If you click this, it goes off. There's no more yellow there. That means the sound alerts are off, right? So keep in mind, you will get additional stuff sent to your email. Everybody that joins does get a free laptop. Just make sure that you fill out the form that we will be sending out. That will be sent out. And the laptop, we ship it out after the 30-day money back guarantee. I don't know anybody else doing this stuff out there, especially like Nick Chahine, putting in all those hours, especially on Sundays. It just goes to show the level of commitment, right? The fact that we come here and we do this stuff out there on a Sunday, a beautiful Sunday, by the way. But yeah, Emmanuel, you're welcome. John, make sure to send that email. Gary, you and I have a call, so I'll make sure to let's get in touch, but make sure to send an email if you have questions. This deal, it's going to expire at midnight, and we're very close to capping the size on this chat room, right? We definitely want to let you guys know ahead of time. So those are conversations that are already being had. But folks, as of today, right now, you can still join the chat room. We are still accepting new members. Go ahead and send any questions you have. I'm going to put my questions, my email in the chat. Send over any questions. Everybody stay safe. Have a happy weekend. Enjoy this beautiful Sunday. Get ready for trading tomorrow. For those that did join the chat room, remember, we're there at 8 in the morning, 8:30 a.m. already in the live room. Do not miss it. Tomorrow is the beginning of a crazy week, and you do want to be positioned accurately, properly for your trades, your swing trades, if you're trading options, adjusting any trades. You could literally be in a complicated trade right now down, and you could join the chat room, use that 30-day money back guarantee, and get the most out of it. Really, and if it helps you, then you stay. You can see it for yourself. The proof is in the pudding, they say. So go ahead and give it a shot. Melissa, good to see you here. I hope I can see you in the chat room tomorrow. And Melissa just joined, so welcome here again to the family. Melissa, let's go. Melissa's gonna get 2 air horns. Okay, first member to ever get 2 air horns in Benzinga history. Melissa, I'll see you in the chat room. Everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you tomorrow. Happy trading and stay safe. Quick announcement. Gary, welcome to the house. Let's go. folks, quick announcement here. We got to welcome Mark. Welcome to the family here. Let's go. Mark's in the house.